The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Step it off, break it down and lose it. Come on, follow us to the new revolution. Come on, step it off, break it down and lose it. Come on, follow us to the new revolution. And now I'm proving that this battle I am never losing. I'm choosing to ignore the cuts and bumps and bruises. I'm cruising through these haters, leave them looking stupid. They foolish if they think they'll ever hear my conclusion. I'm through with all these part-timers and their excuses. I'm bruising eagles left and right every time I do this. I'm shooting for the top, no I'll never settle where you did. The future's in my hands, my grip will never loosen. My crew is ready to obtain the absolution. Removing any doubt that we was ever fooling. So come on, step it off, break it down and lose it. Come on, follow us to the new revolution. Come on, step it off, break it down and lose it. Come on, follow us to the new revolution.
Rise and shine, my sinners. When Father Evil starts his day, he gets a little deadly. Deadly Grounds coffee has the richest, smoothest flavor you'll find anywhere. It's sinfully delicious. Once you go deadly, you never go back. Order yours at getdeadly.com. Coffee's so good, it's scary.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. You're watching Still Toking with. My name's Leo. I'm the monkey behind the keyboard, and we have a very fun show for you today. But as always, Benjamin, how's it going?
What's happening?
Other than trying to drive me crazy?
Not trying. Am I succeeding?
Okay, just behind the scenes info here. You know, I'm doing everything to get us ready to push us live. And I see a message pop up from Ben. Don't forget to do this. And it's something that should have been done like half an hour ago. Obviously, I thought ahead and did it anyway, but it's yeah.
Well, the only reason I even mentioned it is because I went back to Monday's show and I was putting all our shows into the folders like I do for all the networks. And it wasn't on that platform. And I went, oops, I guess we missed it.
Should have been on one of them and not the other.
Right. It's on the entertainment one, not on the TV one.
Yeah, the TV one I bailed on because I was limited to how many I could share to. So, sorry.
I thought you were good. Oh,
I'm the best, baby.
Wow. Wow. Yes.
Okay,
yes,
so we have what did you do to Jeff? He's not here.
I didn't do anything to Jeff. Jeff did it to himself. Jeff sustained an injury. He's not feeling well right now. So we have two amazing gentlemen that stepped up to help us co-host an amazing show. So Leo, who do we have here with us helping tonight?
Well, first I want to say, you know, with Jeff, I'm going to bear witness. A couple weeks ago, you were threatening to hurt him on set. So we do have that recorded. So Jeff, if you're watching and if you need the evidence, just let me know. I'll look it up.
So much for your promotion.
Yeah. Sorry. Do you want to introduce the people? How about we let them introduce themselves? Rico.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hello.
I was like chewing on bacon. Like, I'm sorry, I apologize. What's up, guys? How you doing?
Doing well, doing well. And want to introduce yourself? Let everybody know where you're from.
Yeah, my name is Ricardo Abel Aviles Aviles. I go by Richard Rico Aviles. I'm a dad, a husband, an interpreter, a comedian, a purple belt in jiu-jitsu, and I'm also the host of a show called the Rico Podcast on iHeartRadio.
Awesome. And RW, introduce yourself, sir.
Just kidding. I'm R.W. Martin, and I'm a comedian and a writer and an actor, and I guest host on the Dorkening podcast from time to time.
Yeah. And so, Ben, who'd you bring with you?
This guy. And this guy. And the guy that did these things. No, actually, we have a true legend in comic book and animation industry with us tonight, Mr. Doug Rice.
Hello.
Welcome,
Hey,
Doug.
Happy to be here. Thank you.
Oh, we're happy to have you. Happy to have you. Ben was a little light on that, so you've done quite a bit. You're currently a teacher at Columbia College of the Arts, but you're known for working on Pinky and the Brain, Animaniacs, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I even saw a Batman reference in there as well. You've done a hell of a lot.
I try to keep busy.
And I will say he's the best looking out of all of us up here.
Oh, God.
Just saying.
I age well, yeah, thank you.
Like a fine wine.
Or old cheese.
And I did mention, also very important, you are a veteran of the U.S. Air Force as well.
Yes, I am. I was working in an office. I had all the good stuff, but still, I was there. In Vietnam,
Right.
and that was a very interesting time.
I can imagine.
So
Why is everybody so quiet?
I don't know. Yeah, like really.
I was told I'm here for the gangbang, so I don't know what we're doing, how we're starting this. So I'm just trying to figure it out.
Any particular questions you have
Mr. Doug, how did you get started with animation?
Animation was a phone call. Prior to that time in the early 1990s, I had been doing comic book work for various companies, everything from First Comics doing Dynamo Joe to DC. I worked on Manhunter and Plastic Man. I did books for Marvel in the humor area, and I'd even done a year's worth of Roger Rabbit comic books for Disney. And my strength was that I could jump styles. I wasn't limited to superheroes. I was limited to squash and stretch. I wasn't even limited to manga style. I did a year's worth of STARBLAZERS for Comico.
Yes.
And I got a call from a company that was a small animation studio in the south suburbs of Chicago. And they wanted me to do some concept artwork because they heard that I did science fiction stuff. I said, sure. And I met with them and showed my portfolio of work I had done. And they agreed to give me a 2-week stint doing concept artwork for a science fiction project they have involving a race of insects under the earth. And what I did is, I for the first 2 weeks, I took a very, very long train ride down to the place in the south suburbs every day and cranked out a lot of artwork based on their requests for redesigning the characters that they had. And I think they were surprised because not by so much designs, but how many designs I did. And that was the discipline from comic books coming into play. Because if you don't draw fast in comic books, you don't pay the rent. You don't eat. It's a matter of getting at least 2 pages done a day.
Wow.
To get the work out there and to be able to, look your landlord in the face at the end of the month. So I was able to do that. And all the tricks and all the shortcuts I learned along the way, I was able to apply to the concept work I was doing for that science fiction project. And so where any artist they have, they could do 1 or 2 drawings a day. I was doing 5 or 6. Wow. I really like that. And the fact that they kept throwing me different curves about what kind of things to draw, and I would keep coming up with ideas that they seemed to find it interesting. And after 2 weeks, they offered me a job full time. I pointed out that I'd never been trained in animation at all. I love animation, and I've watched it all my life. And it's like a sponge. I've absorbed this stuff into the core of my being, which is why I could draw in that funny style. And apparently that was enough. They said, if you have that kind of aptitude, we can train you on the details. So first we want you to do storyboards, which are kind of like comic books.
Right.
And they want you to do concept artwork, which you've been doing already, so you can do that. And when it comes time to do animation, we'll give you work that you can do roughly like cleanups and in-betweening, and then we'll get you started on doing some key animation. And they did that. They were actually able to take somebody off the street and put me to work right away.
Wow.
That's crazy.
I got into the animation business. And after a little over 2 years of working, we were working on a show called Animaniacs. And based on the work I did for the show and the backgrounds and the storyboards and animation, my boss comes in one day and hands me 2 pieces of paper. One is a certificate from the Television Arts and Academy of Arts and Sciences for a Daytime Emmy certificate with my name on it. And the second piece of paper was a letter from Tom Ruger at Warner Brothers, the producer and head of Kids WB, congratulating me on my win, because apparently the work I was doing for that particular year was good enough that my name was added to the list of the recipients of the award for Best Animated Feature of that year.
Wow.
That's, you're not kidding, wow.
Right. I mean, I'm still stuck. Sorry, my brain got stuck when you said STARBLAZERS. I dorked out. I really did. I mean, that was my. I would literally stay home from school and miss like first 2 periods just to watch STARBLAZERS.
I used to watch Animaniacs in Spanish in Telemundo. No, for real. I used to watch it in Spanish. I never had it in English. We didn't have cable. So I grew up watching it. Yeah, I recently watched it in English again with my kid.
Good man.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's a great show.
Yeah, that's funny.
Now, when they do the animation for, let's say, Animaniacs, do you animate first and then they voice over, or are you animating the voiceover?
The deal we had with Warner Bros., we were what was called a pickup studio based in Chicago, South Chicago. And the idea was they have a season of 26 episodes, and they would give us 6 of them to work on. So while they finished out the 20 and had it done, no problem. Our 6 episodes we could fuss with and play with and polish. And we were able to, but they gave us a script and a mag track of the audio. And from those 2 things, we put everybody to work, and after 6 weeks, we have a finished film ready to deliver, ready for airing.
Nice.
Wow.
That was the digital process in the early days. You could draw pencil and paper cells, but they're all scanned into the Adobe Photoshop system or Adobe Illustrator, painted and prepared for the animation. It was a streamlined process, and it only required about 20 people to work on it.
So when you received the transcripts and the script and the voice, how much did it differ? Because I've seen the voice actors on stage, and it seemed like they could ad lib a lot. Were they changing things up as they went, or?
No, we got. I assume that the script we got were adjusted to fit the mag track.
Okay.
Because they really had to match, because the work we were doing required that kind of precision. Maybe they only did 6 times to make sure that they were the ones that were going to our studio and ignored the rest of it. But we really need that precision in terms of accuracy from script to mag track to make sure that what we're doing fit together. Because the visuals of the animation have to fit with the sound. And the compositing was like the last step of the process. And it always worked.
That's awesome.
Nice.
It always worked.
Joanna's in the chat room. She's asking, Doug, what's your favorite character to draw?
They're talking about comics or animation?
She says animated, but I'm going to change it up. Either one.
There are too many characters I like to draw in comics. I think DYNAMO JOE is probably my favorite job. It was my first job in comics, and creating that series, writing it, and as a creator in terms of revival, and then working with guys like John Ostrander and Phil Folio as my scripters, and great inkers like Brian Thomas, great colorists like Rick Taylor. He adapted his style to fit the anime cartoons I fed him and VHS tapes. So, because I wanted that brightness in the series, and he nailed it so well. And compared to a lot of books that were done during that period of time, you look at DYNAMO JOE Interiors and any other book, the DYNAMO JOE stuff just pops out of the page. I just love that. I work with some good people, but as great characters in animation, I think the Pinky and the Brain. I love doing those guys.
Yes.
Yeah, I love Pinky and the Brain.
I'm totally dorking out right now. I'm sorry.
I got a question. As an animator, how much knowledge do you have of the creative process of like writing jokes and like what the writers do? Like, are you guys on par with that? With like, hey, this show's gonna be, we're gonna make fun of this, kind of like the episode where they talk about all the countries and stuff like that. Like, as an animator, like, do you have an insight into that so that helps you like write things out, or is that a separate process?
In terms of writing, I did a lot of writing in comic books for the Roger Rabbit series. Now, these were 8-page stories, but they were all very much in the vein of the character. In fact, I met the writer of the original novel, Gary Wolfe, at a convention. He said of all the Disney comic book adaptations of his character, he liked my stuff the best because it was the funniest.
Nice.
Now,
does the name Scott Eaton ring a bell at all to you?
Scotty? Not necessarily, no.
Okay, so him and I grew up, went to the same school back in grade school, right through high school. So he's around my age, so he'd be 55, 56 years old. But I just remember him drawing like full whales in kindergarten, like these big posters, and he stuck with it. So he's I guess you would call him, is he the inker? Yeah, because you're the artist is the inker, and then someone else colors it in. Is that correct?
Well, it was a penciler and then an inker.
Okay, so he's the penciler. Sorry. So he's a penciler, and he's worked on so many things. I just didn't know if the name rang a bell at all.
I didn't.
No.
Sorry.
No.
RW, you think all artists know each other?
I didn't know that they did or not. You told me to have good questions.
That's Puerto Rican people. You're confusing them with Puerto Rican people. All Puerto Rican people know each other. Yeah,
That's right.
just like all veterans know each other.
Yeah, exactly.
I had to bust on you, my friend. So Doug, I read something very interesting about you, something that you've said, and it kind of hit home to me because you don't recommend anybody to be self-taught.
Based on my experiences, I have to confess I was lucky. And I really have to say that the very fact that I was at home when that phone call came in from Star Tunes was pure luck. I would have been anywhere else and missed it entirely. In comics, if I had not known somebody who introduced me to the staff at First Comics and got me a job on staff there, nothing would have happened because I would never have wandered in on my own. I wouldn't have known where to look. So it's luck. Sometimes it's who you know. People who recommended me for the job at Star Tunes, who you know, and you can't put that into a real recommendation. Art schools circumvent a lot of that. And for instance, the school I teach at, they pride themselves in getting their students ready for the real world, and then go that step further by bringing representatives of the real world into the studio, into the campus, for interviews. And they help prepare the students prepare their own portfolios or story reels, as the case may be. And these students get real jobs at Pixar, at Disney, at DreamWorks. And I'm amazed that some of my students have gone on to become as good and powerful as they are in the industry. Like, my classes didn't hurt them at all.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a self-taught, learn how to do it thing with everything. Like I taught myself to play drums. I'm not that great, but I taught myself to do it. And my friend Scott just was good at drawing ever since he was in kindergarten. Now, I don't know if he ended up going to like a college after high school and, doing the whole college thing or whatever, but I just know, all through grade school, he's drawing Spider-Man and Superman just as good as, the people who were drawing Spider-Man and Superman at the time, which would be the 70s or whatever. So I don't know. I think there's, in my opinion, as an actor, I'm a self-taught actor, and some directors like working with me because I'm self-taught, because when you go to a school for acting, they say, this is how you do this. And when you're taught that way, and a director wants you to do something else, you go, no, I was taught to do this, and this is what I'm supposed to do. And when you're not taught, they go, just do what I say. And you go, yes, sir. So I think sometimes I don't know. I mean, it depends, I would say, on.
One of the things I get across to the students is I give as much of the studio experience as I can, so they are really aware of what the personalities are like that you will be working with, because it really is about artistic personality. And whenever you're given a job and you're not sure about what's going on, always ask questions, get all the information you need to do the job, but make sure you do it the way they want to. If you have a better idea, that's wonderful. Hold on to it, but do their version first. And then if you have time, give them your version. And that works out well. If you don't give them what they want and you just hand in your version, you will get holy hell for it. I'm not kidding.
No.
It's not just the fact that they're expecting one thing, they're paying for one thing and they're not getting it, but it's wasting time and money.
Right.
And they really exploited that. So you might not get another chance to help them. These are like little tests they give people.
Well said.
Yeah.
So you have to
do what you're told is the bottom line.
It doesn't mean you don't give your ideas, but you just make sure they get their stuff first.
Right.
What were you going to say, Leo?
Oh, I said I'm fucked then, because yeah, it's like I just took on a new job, and I know I blab about it, but the person that was leaving showed me how to do the job, and as soon as I get into it, I'm like, there has to be a better way to do it. I'm gonna do it differently. There we go.
I do the same thing.
I mean, I worked at Lowe's. And I worked as a PSA, and on the PSAs are the one that change out the end caps and put up displays and all that stuff. And a diagram comes with it. It says, first thing, do this, second thing, do that, third thing, do this, then this. And I'd look at it and go, well, that's stupid. It's so much easier if I do it this way. It'll cut the time in half. And I always did it my way. And one day the boss saw me doing it a different way and went, that's not the way it says to do it. And I go, yeah, I don't listen to this thing. I just do it my way. And they're like, no. You got to do it this way. And I go, I've been doing it this way for like 6 months. And they're like, oh, well then, yeah, go ahead, I guess. But yeah, if there's an easier way, do it an easier way.
It may be flexible in a small business.
Right.
You're talking about a production that has every hour of work budgeted.
Yeah.
And that's not going to fly.
No, and what you said before about an artist needs to get the 2 pages done a day or not pay the rent or whatever, I would just drop by unannounced to my friend Scott sometimes, knock on his door, and his wife would be, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm just going to say hi to Scott. Well, he's drawing. And I'm like, okay, and they're like, you need to leave. And I'm like, wow, you guys are rude. But I understand now that like he had to get these 2 pages done or whatever. So yeah.
To give you some idea how that plays out in real life on the bigger scale, the studio I worked at in Homewood was called Startoons. It was in a building with no windows. It used to be a depot for postal service trucks. And there was no sign on the door. There's a little business card taped to the window by the door for the postman. But nobody in town knew there was a cartoon studio there. because we knew if they did know there's a cartoon studio there, we would get pestered constantly.
Right.
And so we had a couple of tours. They were from inner city school kids coming down to see something like that, and they were thrilled to be a part of it, but not the locals. No.
Had to blindfold all the kids. Take the blindfolds once you get in the building.
But anytime we were working at the studio, if you walk in the door and you'd be stunned by the silence of the place. There's no music playing.
Yeah.
Everybody's on the board scratching their pencils on paper, and that's all we sound and see. Maybe an occasional pencil sharpener. That's it.
Yeah.
That's crazy because as a comic, like I like to have like a little flow of things. Like I write daily because I just feel like if I write daily, it's better even when I don't want to. And like I feel like sometimes like when I'm writing, I put a little bit of music. So I mean, animation, I guess it's different, but it's interesting to hear that how there's like similarities. You want to work as much as you can.
Doing animation was a experience I never imagined possible in the work environment. Basically, the job was better than sex. It was so good to come in every day. Well, it goes up beyond that because it's not just doing something you like and getting a paycheck for it. There was also the budget situation. Now, as I said, I worked fast, and I would do a lot of layouts and storyboards that were quicker than anybody else. Everybody else had the talent to do it, but not the speed that I had. So I got all that work. And as a consequence, the budget I had, any money that you make once the project is done and ahead of schedule, and whatever's left over in the budget, you get to keep.
Wow.
That's the bonus system in Hollywood. And there's nothing better than Hollywood.
My father, God rest his soul, always said, do something you love to do because then you won't mind going to work.
Yeah. That's very true.
Yeah.
I like the whole fact that you get to keep the budget.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's smart.
That's why I like the cartoon unions.
I don't know if any of you guys remember. I mean, again, I grew up in the 70s and 80s or whatever, but they used to have the record comic books. So like Captain America and Falcon, there'd be a 45 in there. Yeah. Put the 45 on your record player, and it'd be like, and Captain America and the Falcon, blah, blah, blah. And you'd be like reading along and stuff. I used to love that, the little record comic book thing or whatever.
I think it's actually a good language tool.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And if you were bad at reading, not that I was or admitting to that at all, but as you're listening along, you're like the da, and you get more of a grasp of, if you had trouble reading, you could read along, and then you're like, oh, this word is the, which was always the hardest word for me for some reason. I don't know.
I could have used one of those record books myself as a kid because my older brother, would keep explaining what the big words meant. And for the longest time, I kept saying invulnerable.
Look at Richard. He goes, huh?
Well, because as an interpreter, I know what that word means, and I'm like, I don't think he's using that. Like immediately, I'm like, I gotta hear it. I gotta hear this goes.
When you're actually working in an office doing comic books, and you say the word invulnerable,
that goes across the hallway.
So yeah.
Well, Ben, I know it is that time, so I'm going to stop here for a quick second. We still got plenty of show coming at you, but we have to pay the bills, so we have a couple ads for you. And first one, it's movie time. Eternals is out right now. Don't listen to the reviews because I hear it's actually really good. But you know what? Prospect Theater here in Connecticut. Check it out.
Did you know around 83% of Americans with disabilities are unemployed? We are changing that. The Prospector Theater is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to providing competitive and integrated employment for adults with disabilities through the operation of a first-run movie theater in Ridgefield, Connecticut. We greet, seat, and treat our audiences to the best, most accessible movie-going experience in the world. Hollywood blockbusters, delicious gourmet popcorn, and one-of-a-kind pink glove service. Join us for a movie and see our sparkle in action. For more information or to purchase tickets, visit www.prospectortheater.org.
And if you love supporting Ben and Jeff, and who doesn't, they have hot sauce now. So here, where's the button? Okay, here it is. You can find out more about all of that in the show notes up above and down below, depending on where you're watching or listening to us, including Doug Rice. You can find all his information there. Yeah. How'd I do, Ben?
Not bad. Not bad.
Not bad.
34 minutes, though. 34 minutes to talk
great
about the show notes. I mean, wow. I'm almost impressed. It used to be every 4 to 5 minutes you'd say, you can check the show notes. But
we had great conversation going on. I didn't want to interrupt it.
It's okay. You did fabulous as always.
Did marvelous, simply marvelous,
marvelous, Leo. Simply marvelous.
Can I say it in Spanish?
Go for
Please do.
Fabuloso.
So what projects you got coming up now, Doug? What you got? Some stuff that's coming up that you're working on, or
there's DYNAMO JOE is being put forth as a reprint series, digital, with expanded material. That's an ongoing project. We're having a lot of setbacks due to COVID. But other than that, the project is still very much alive, and I'm getting nibbles from various people who want to reprint it themselves. So one way or another, it's going to get out there someplace. As to the rest of it, I do personal projects and occasional commissions, but beyond that, I'm very happy. I did a novel a few years ago, and I was very happy with that, which I got to design the book too. So that was fun. So I'm dabbling in things that interest me. That's it. I have a regular job, which is good, and to have very Wilson.
So there.
Thanks.
Right.
I don't think they can see it.
No. Put it in front of your face. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
You can't see it.
Oh,
Batman.
Hold on.
Yes.
I'll help you.
Let there be light.
Right.
There we go. Oh, nice.
Yes. What a novel idea.
That's pretty dope.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, tell us a little bit about it. What is the novel about?
It is an old-fashioned pulp style novel set in the 1930s. It's based on the air adventures of the day, like Bill Barnes and Dusty Ayers and G8 and those guys. It has that kind of vein to it. It's a little more sophisticated in terms of the story structure, but I kept the technology and all the references and the basic level of action strictly to the period. I wasn't trying to make it updating or rethinking or anything like that. And I had a hell of a lot of fun doing it. This was in a period of unemployment, you understand.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing comic book work was coming in at a time when it was few and far between. And I have this need to keep busy, which is what I did. So I came up with this novel. It's about a cataclysmic event that happens in 1917 during the height of World War I.
Mm-hmm.
And it destroys a great deal of the Eastern Hemisphere, wiping out whole cultures.
Wow.
And while there was devastation in the West to not nearly as much as there was in the East. And consequently, while the West was able to recover quickly, they found that the Europe was really coming apart at the seams. The communication was bad back then. You had to go by ship for anything to go anywhere. You had only things like telegraph cables and telephone cables to communicate there. Those were all gone. The shipping had been just devastated by the cataclysm. And anyway, it took 20 years of recovery in the West before they came up with a technology that could reach that far into the East and find out what the hell happened to the Eastern Hemisphere. Because even the radio messages weren't coming through. And there was a big mystery as what happened in the 20-year interim, because there's nothing. By the first refugee ships going over, nothing happened after that. There was reports of Europe sinking into the sea, all that kind of thing. It was really intense. Doug, kind of stuff.
Doug, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you feel that when you're creating sort of those kind of stories where there's like historical value and a lesson in there, do you feel that like, how do you get like the creativity to come up with a process where you go, this is the problem and this is how we're going to navigate this? Like, do you get that from like reading, or is it just your imagination, how you think this would play out?
I gave myself certain parameters to adhere to while I was writing the process and doing the outline and developing the characters, that they had to really be true to the period, and putting things in, and even references in speech that would be out of place or were excised right away. Mm-hmm. And I did a lot of research on the level of technology in aircraft and things like that, what was known and what was not known during that period, and was able to unfold that stuff into the story, where there were some discoveries that would have occurred at the same time they would be appearing in my book if they did in real life. And so they would be realistic in that sense. For instance, the jet stream was not known about before World War II, but it was discovered by a guy named Wiley Post, a flyer, who made an account about it. But the thing of it is, Wiley Post was a bastard. And nobody liked him. And so they took his reports and said, oh, this is fascinating. And they just tossed it away. And it wasn't until a decade later, at the height of World War II, with the bomber campaign against Germany, that they found out, hey, that guy was really telling the truth.
Where did we put that paper? Yeah.
So it's like that. You're able to incorporate things into your story that would fit the timeline. Right. And you have to call it, you can't call it the jet stream, you have to call it something else. But it's that is still there.
Right. Leo.
Yes, sir.
Do we have any type of a link where somebody could find this book?
Yes. Charles, my friend Charles here has a great entertainment outfit. He published it for me.
Billy, a minute ago, Billy asked if that was Charles in the background. So yes, indeed, it is, Billy.
Yes, Billy, that is Charles.
I just didn't want to say anything because everybody was talking, but it popped up, and
so hey, Charles. Charles, you can pop your face in for a second.
Yes, I had to Billy.
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 After the show, I'm going to reach out because I'm going to need an autographed copy of that.
Okay. No problem.
That's a bold move, Cotton. That's a bold move, Cotton.
Yeah. And it's actually good reading. Plus, you have original plates in it, too, which is quite amazing. And there's also a secret comic book project he and I are working on together.
Oh.
Okay, maybe I'll have to reach out, too.
I like it when you reach out, especially the ladies.
If you ever need a Spanish translator, I'll gladly sign an NDA. Just gonna throw that out there. I got 18 years of experience. Just gonna throw that out there. You know how much shit I'd be talking to my friends back home if I translated something for Animaniacs? Oh my God. I would go back home and just walk around like a hero. A lot of people don't respect translators. I know.
Right.
So you were Richard or Rico, sorry, had said, how do you research your stuff? and I'm a screenwriter, and I do the same thing. Like I come up with an idea for maybe something that takes place in the Old West, but I have to find out what states had, trains going through it, which states didn't, who was, was Billy the Kid alive in this time period, or was he not? So I have ADHD, so I come up with an idea, but then you got to figure out all this factual stuff. Because if you say, oh yeah, he was just with Jesse James, and Jesse James hasn't even been born yet, then people are going to be like, Jesse James wasn't even around.
I'm the same way.
A lot of times you watch period piece movies that, Hollywood puts out, like an 80s movie, and they got some song by the Cars or something that hadn't come out yet. And I'm like, nobody really does their homework. Like when I write something, I want to make sure that I'm not saying somebody was alive or somebody was dead. And it's brutal to do all this research. But if you want to do your job right, you gotta like get all the facts straight before you even start writing.
Yeah, as a comic, we have a similar process. Like we have like a writing group on my house. We got like a couple guys that come that I've toured with. And like, dude, sometimes it'll turn into like what was the argument the other day? And to give you an example, it was like, do you think that Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg are would date in like an alternate reality? And then from there, you just go down this rabbit hole for 2 hours, which I'm not going to go because I'd like to talk more to Mr. Doug. But Mr. Doug, do you think that? No, I'm just kidding.
I think you'll find that veracity these days, people think there's a town in New Jersey.
So, Doug, a character that you worked on is getting a major reboot to the big screen. And I'll give everybody a little hint. They just announced that it's going to star Peter Dinklage, also Elijah Wood, and Kevin Bacon.
Elijah Wood.
Yeah, I heard about this the other day. And oh, yes, now I know. Yes.
Toxic Avenger.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
we're remaking Toxic Avenger.
Oh yeah, it's getting a big screen reboot in I believe 2022. But yeah, stars Elijah Wood, Kevin Bacon, Peter Dinklage, Julia Davis, Sarah Niles, Taylor Page. And the funny thing is, they're not listing what everybody's playing. Like, we don't know who's playing Toxic Avenger yet.
Oh, so we can take bets on that.
Yeah, but Doug, I saw you worked on the Toxic Avenger.
I did. Hillary Barta and I got together to do a script for our old boss, Joe Staten of E-Man and Dick Tracy fame. And he was doing the script pencils for Marvel on stories for Toxic Avenger. And we sat down with a couple of adaptations, and they're funny as hell. We had a lot of fun with that. And it was great working with Joe Staten again, too.
Yeah, I've met Joe a couple times. He's a really nice guy.
But that was my extent, was actually writing choice.
I don't know if I missed the comment or if you didn't put it up, but because I was answering behind the scenes stuff over here too. Billy Middlestat said, we have to bring Doug to Maryland Pop and HorrorCon.
Well, I like seafood.
Well, I know Charles and Philo are coming. Charles, you might have to clean off the back seat for Doug.
Man, bring something to Missouri.
There wouldn't be enough room, so he would have to be either flown or put on a train.
I would go on the train.
There you go, Billy. You would have to get him a train ticket.
I don't think we have trains down here in Missouri.
Oh, he said round trip. Round trip train ticket, Billy.
I'm not falling for that again.
Damn.
Actually, since Billy's listening, I got one other name for him. We talked to her yesterday. Athena Finger would be interested as well. And if you don't know, she is the granddaughter of Bill Finger, who is the co-creator of Batman. Billy says, done. You're in, Doug. You're in.
Billy, reach out to Charles. You got his number.
That would be in August, correct?
That is the August show, correct.
Also, it would also be predicated if Professor, since he does have a heart condition, forgive me for saying out loud, he's very cautious with the mandates and stuff like that. So,
That would
Okay.
be my predicate.
Yeah, just I'll have Billy reach out to you behind the scene.
Yeah. Oh, Thunderworld. Mention that, God.
Oh, well, the other project that it's occupying our time is getting a project that was inspired by the MCU. We felt the version of in kaiju in giant robot form.
Oh,
so we came up with the thing called Thunderworld, which is a series of 5 comics now.
It has for now 5 characters, I think.
Okay, I've done 3 titles, designed 3 titles, and titles like Uncle Destructo, Gamma the Great, and Zayugan. So we have not only giant robots, we also have a monster represented in the series, which is pretty interesting.
oh, nice.
Giant
sounds
aliens
really
cyborg.
Yeah. And I came up with Ragnarok 13.
Ragnarok 13 is Charles' contribution. He also has one of the principal villains in the series, actually an anti-hero.
Yeah. Yes.
Anti-heroine, which is very interesting. Probably one of the strongest female characters I've ever come across in comics, even by today's standards.
So, Doug, of all the people you could have worked with but never got the chance to work with, or the people you have got to work with, who would be like, if you got to work the chance to work with somebody, who would that have been? And of all the people you have worked with, who was the person that you're lucky that you worked with?
Well, being the kind of fanboy I was and still am in too many regards, I would like to work with some of the greats. Like I really would like to have worked with Jack Kirby or Steve Ditko. They were what got me into comic books in the first place, because their work was so raw. It made it seem like it was possible for somebody like me with no training whatsoever just to keep trying and get into it. One of the more refined artists in that area was Jim Steranko, who I still worship. I cannot believe that guy's range and his abilities. And even after all this time, even his old work still has a certain power to it that most comics today don't even come close to. And I really that inspires me. Working around really good people doing really good work is great. For one reason, I like working in animation. There are a lot of unsung artists out there. You'll never really see their portfolios, but they're doing some amazing stuff, and they have amazing things in their portfolios. And I love working with them. It's a great place to work, really.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Kirby, and I feel sometimes he doesn't. He gets overshadowed. No offense, no disrespect to Stan Lee, but it seems like Stan Lee always overshadowed Jack Kirby, and he didn't live long enough to get that recognition that he so deserved.
Well, Stan Lee had the advantage of living longer.
Right.
I think that if there had been a Jack Kirby present for the screening of Captain America: The First Avenger, Jack Kirby would have been in the theater watching.
Yeah,
he would have gone.
Yeah,
right.
So, how long did you work on Tales of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Well, that was a one-shot. I was a guest artist.
Oh, nice.
I was grateful for it, the opportunity, and I had a lot of fun doing it. But they only needed somebody to fill in for one issue before they got back before the regular artists got back on it. So I wasn't about to steal anybody's job.
Right.
And when was that?
That was early 1992.
Okay, so it's when the original creators were still together.
No, the Eastman and Larry. No, they were long gone.
Oh, okay.
No, they were gone. Oh. Wait. When was that?
Yeah, a while ago. But you do have some original artwork from that for sale for only $500 a page.
Oh, there we go.
Yo, wait, how much?
It's sold just
yeah, I'll take one.
Yo, what's up? How much?
Yeah, he said $500 a page.
Okay.
I was giving all through my career. I was virtually giving away pages like $20 a piece.
Wow.
And now I have.
I'll
left.
take 5.
I'll pay 5. Not right now, but I'll pay 5.
It's the last comic book I worked on, and I consequently figured, well, I don't mind hanging on to these. So if I'm going to part with them, I'll put a price on it that will say, okay, it's okay to part with it.
Yeah. Oh, I'll hit you up, Doug.
Well,
I love collecting art. I
I gave away virtually all the pages I had before because I frankly needed to eat. Between comic books, there's a lot of empty plates. A lot of ramen noodles.
Ramen noodles and peanut butter.
Yeah. So,
ramen noodles, yeah.
Do you do commissions now if somebody was to reach out to you, or
I have a couple of commissions to finish, but then yes, I'll be doing some more after that.
Okay. And so I have your Facebook information in the show notes. Is that the best way to reach out to you, or
pretty much? Yeah.
Okay. Cool beans.
That's up here or down below, depending on where it is.
Now you got RW doing.
The links are up here or down there.
Thank you, RW.
I'm helping Leo.
I greatly appreciate it.
I'll come back when I buy the art piece. Don't worry, I got you.
There we go.
Come back.
As I say, at my age, I really do like to focus on things that I want to do.
Yeah. Right.
Makes sense.
Right.
Yeah, and the Thunderworld sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
It has a potential. We've got one more. Is one from North Carolina by artist named Cantrell Riley called King Panzer. Sorry, King Panzer. They'll kill me. I have a logo for him, for God's sake. King Panzer.
Anything kaiju has a rabid fan base.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, even in Japanese.
I'm old school Japanese animation fan, so the proper term is Daikaiju.
So how old school? Like Rurouni Kenshin, Knights of the Zodiac, Zenki old school, or like we talking about like 1960s, 1950s?
We're talking Ultraman.
Oh my God! All right,
Ultraman.
Wow, all right, yeah,
I loved Ultraman.
They were always
that's
Daikaiju just means monster. Daikaiju means great monster.
Yeah.
Godzilla is a Daikaiju.
Right.
And King Kong is a Daikaiju. Frankenstein's creature is a kaiju.
What would I be, Doug?
We're being schooled.
Relief.
I feel,
There will be a test.
So cool right now.
Well,
I feel so cool right now.
Actually, Frankenstein's monster could have been a what do you call it? Kaiju?
Daikaiju.
Yeah, because one of the movies it was supposed to be Godzilla versus Frankenstein's monster, but I guess they couldn't do the rights at the last, and that turned into Godzilla versus Donkey.
Frankenstein conquers the world. It was a giant Frankenstein.
Yeah, the original Godzilla versus King Kong was actually supposed to be Godzilla versus Frankenstein's monster, and they changed it like last minute, and then they changed it to King Kong. That's why lightning brings King Kong back to life, because it was written in that lightning was supposed to bring.
So what I'm hearing is that Light Yagami from Death Note cannot kill Frankenstein then, because lightning would just bring him back.
Probably.
That's shocking.
I just want to know if the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man is a guy kaiju.
He would be Daikaiju, yes.
See, I watched Ghostbusters. He was
Not
a big boy.
anymore. The new movie, they're little itty bitty. They're Funko size.
They're Funko size.
They're mini marshmallows.
Yeah, they're mini marshmallows.
This is what I walked into.
Oh my God, they look so adorable.
Oh
Yes,
God,
yes,
look
you
at
walked-
this mother.
They're the next Baby Yoda. There's like a whole series of them, and yeah.
Leo, I'm never hanging out with you. You're the type of guy that looks at a dark alley, be like, "It could be darker." Like, no, we're not doing this.
Come on, it'll take 5 minutes off our walk. They're harmless.
Exactly, because I'll be fucking dead.
What's next?
I got Doug to laugh. I'm happy. I got Doug to laugh. I've been trying to get that all night. I was like, I texted my friends. I'm like, I'm talking to Doug Rice, and everybody's blowing up my phone. And I keep just putting my phone down. And I was like, I got to make Doug Rice laugh, man. I got to do that at least. I'm happy.
Mission accomplished.
My wife keeps like staring. I was like, is the Pinky in the Brain?
And just to clear it up, whoever's watching, Rico and I are not in the same room. See, look, what's wrong way? See, look, we're not.
Stop, dude.
We're not in the same.
Time a professor brings me out to dinner, he always laughs at me.
I missed that. What did he say?
Well, every time that we go to dinner, I laugh at him because he can't get the food in his mouth. Mustache gets in the way. And that is so funny to see.
Oh man.
Just tell him, Charles, you're saving it. I meant to put that one there because I'm saving it for later, just in case.
Oh my god.
Yeah, snacks. Snacks for later.
Snacks. Snacks. What is this? Oh, I apologize for that sound.
No. Sorry, my alarm's going off. You did some work on Batman Beyond?
Wait, what?
That was a very strange situation. Before the series aired, you have to know that the Batman Beyond character was not a comic book. It was totally a TV production, made for TV thing. And Warner Brothers was exceedingly security minded about not letting the image of the character get out. You never saw the image of the character before the series aired. And we were at Star Tunes, and we got a phone call from Hasbro, and they wanted to hire us to do the commercial for the Batman Beyond character. And they said, "Oh, we got a guy who does superhero stuff; he can do it." So they gave me the job. I said, "Oh boy, when do I get the material?" Because I had no idea what the character looked like. And so we called Warner Brothers officially, and they say, "Huh? You know, we're not going to give you anything." You can't. It is totally forbidden because you're not under our security blanket. So
right,
forget it. And I said, okay. They went to Hasbro. Maybe they had to have something for they're making a toy for the damn thing. They got to have something. Hasbro said, no, we can't do that. Our contract forbids us to give out the material. But we still expect the job to be done by next Monday.
Wow.
Oh, geez.
Bro, that is way better than military grade technology right there. Look at that. If that would have been the Army or the Air Force, it would have been like, yeah, man, come here. Let me show you. Give me $5 and 6-pack of beer.
I still had to try one more attempt. I went to one of the promotional publications, Starlog.
Nice.
And I said, okay, I would call them up, establish my credentials, and they would have something on the burner they could give me. And just one picture is all I needed in color. So I could do the animation and get it out. I had 4 days to work on it. And I thought, oh boy, this is going to be interesting. And they answered the phone, and I talked to them at length, and they shuttled me from one office to another. And ultimately, it was like, no can do. we have a working relationship with Warner Brothers, and that would piss them off, and they would stop doing business with us. And frankly, we can't do without them. So no way.
Wow.
But the following Monday morning, a package came in from Starlog. Apparently, somebody there knew that Hasbro had toys coming out, and they knew my name, and they were able to figure out that I did work for Star Tunes. And I said, "Give this guy what he wants. He's desperate." And wow. So I had the image that I wanted. I went back and did my own model sheet for the character, and I got the thing done ahead of schedule.
Wow.
And he walked away with the rest of the budget.
In this illegal stuff that Starlog sent him.
Right?
So it's one of those things that you just plow ahead and keep hitting your head against the wall until somebody says, "Come in."
Right?
I know that feeling.
But that was how it worked. I got the Batman commercial done. It was about a kid running to the camera, jumping up in the air and transforming into Batman while he's in the air, landing and springing the wings, going, "I am Batman."
Are you looking for that online right now, Leo, so you can put that on here? Or what?
No, we'll get shut down if I play it. We'll
Look
get
at him.
shut
Look
down if
at
I
him.
play
Look
it.
at that face.
yeah,
Look at that
Oh, hey,
face.
if it's on YouTube.
The toys were ridiculous.
Yeah. I'll tell you, growing up in the 70s and 80s, let's try that again. Growing up in the 70s and 80s, one of my favorite things to bug my mother money for was Starlog magazine. I've managed to, acquire a run of 1 through 81 right now, and I'd like to get a run to 100, but I just absolutely love that magazine, and it's a shame that it died, and so did Fangoria, but that's back. But I just loved Starlog. When you were a kid, there was no internet. You got all your information of all the movies and TV shows and stuff from Starlog magazine. Absolutely loved it. Had I known we were going to talk about Starlog, I would have been able to go, here's issue 1, here's issue 2, here's...
That's crazy. Somebody at Starlog liked me and saved my bacon.
Yeah.
I remember we used to...
I was just going to say, I think the company that bought Fangoria also bought the rights to Starlog. I could be totally
they
wrong.
were owned by the same company back in the day. So they might...
They bought Starlog first and Fangoria lasted longer.
Yeah.
Damn, I grew up in the 90s and the 2000s. Like, I remember in Puerto Rico, the only magazine that was available for us, like, that we could, like, find was Nintendo Power and Game Pro.
Yeah.
And I would charge my friends money to translate it in Spanish.
But yeah, for me, it was Starlog and Mad Magazine. Like you say, Mad
Magazine. Yeah.
Mad finally died. They like ended and then came back with a new format and then went boom, done.
Yeah.
But
I never knew about
Starlog,
Mad.
I read him in church while the pastor was doing his.
Oh my God.
The pastor would be going, and Leviticus 7, chapter 1, verse 3 through 17. And he'd go, Jonah looked up on the water, and then you'd hear my magazine turn, right? And then he'd go, and God said, and then you'd hear my magazine turn again. And then
you'd hear, I thought you were going.
And then my magazine would turn again. And at the end of that service, he found me and he goes, I'd appreciate it if you didn't bring that magazine to church from now on. I'm like, oops.
Be more entertaining, man.
You want to hear something that's a shame, and I'll just do this real quick. In the 90s, I worked retail for a computer store, and we had all those magazines on our shelf, on Nintendo Power, Game Pro, even like Starlog and stuff like that, because we're also part of Walden Books. And their contract was like, when the new issue came out, they got credit for the old one, but I had to tear off the cover of each one to send it back.
Yeah.
So, I got all these free magazines, because we were supposed to throw them out. Yeah, I had to rip the cover off of every one, and but the store got credit for them just because we sent the covers back. Yeah.
So you got some collection of ripped off.
Oh, I got rid of them a long time.
My soul hurts right now.
I couldn't do it. If somebody said, "Here's a free Starlog with no cover," I'm like, "No, I'll just go buy one."
My soul just
hurt. The cover was the best part, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus,
okay, back to the guest.
Sorry.
As a cover artist myself, that pains me.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Leo, you have no other option. Mr. Doug admits that you have to commit seppuku. So it's been nice. This is the only way you can redeem yourself. I mean,
with a rusty katana.
Damn.
Yes, he took it to the next level.
Hey, Leo, you invited me, man. Just remember that next time, okay? Like, I just want to make that very fucking clear. You people invited me.
Oh, totally. Anytime.
I just showed up.
As I hear a sniper rifle being loaded.
Well, I know, Leo, you got another show tonight.
I do.
So
actually, these two gentlemen are going to be on it tonight.
I will actually be going to the gym, good sir. I can't fail. I got to go to the gym. I got to go to the gym.
Fine. Well, RW.
I'm fucking with you.
I'll be there.
I'm fucking with you.
But we got about another 5 minutes that we can occupy Mr. Doug Rice's time with. So, do we have any questions, comments that we missed?
So a bunch of people watching. If you have questions, just post them in the comments. Don't be shy.
We're only giving you 5 more minutes.
Yeah.
So talk to a legend.
I will
Right.
actually take my leave because I need dinner, gentlemen.
Oh, you're gonna leave?
I need dinner. I need dinner.
You
Like,
eating dinner
badly.
before we
You
started?
got 5 minutes so you can eat dinner.
That was like that sandwich
That's,
is looking at me.
that's because his dinner's done and it's sitting on the edge of the table. And he's
Hey,
looking, you can look at him, he's
Rico,
drooling.
if you leave, Rico, if you leave before the 5 minutes, he's gonna get the rusty katana out. I'm just saying.
Mr. Doug, I have one question actually.
Right.
As much as you draw and all that, how do you manage the stress that you put on your hands? Because in anime, I know a couple of my friends that are they write animes. One of the issues they have is rheumatoid arthritis, and they have like nerve damage on their hands. How do you, as a drawer, how do you manage that?
I haven't had that particular issue yet. The only damage on my hand has been the callus that you get from drawing for a long period of time. And I had a huge callus. I was working at Star Toons because I drew more there than anywhere else I've ever been at, more consistently. And I had a real hummer. But now it's gone. It's completely gone.
Yeah, it just, yeah.
You don't get callus from teaching classes at Columbia College. You just don't. So I have all my dexterity and no rheumatoid arthritis. So I really don't know how to explain it. I'm glad I don't have it. I hate for people who do.
Yeah, it's painful.
Yeah.
I know what it would mean to me. And if I do get it, I'm not looking forward to it.
You're right. Yeah, because it's your livelihood right there.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I know we're waiting for questions, but was there actually, Rico, you needed to go?
No, man, I can wait, bro.
Okay.
The sandwich is
about
just
to
right
say,
here,
you know,
bro.
he is
It's like
feeling-
right there. It's like right there, just staring at me, man.
You threatened him with a rusty katana.
I did 15 months in Iraq, bro. I can wait another.
Okay.
I'm gonna lick the sandwich in a little bit. Don't worry. If you see like something like this happen, don't worry about it.
Thank you for your service.
You know, he's taking in
Charles in the background.
I was gonna say he's taking in for
Say something.
Oh, he's got a question.
No, this is just a quick commercial. Go to Kickstarter.com. Look up Dungeon Dice. Pledge. That's a buddy of mine who made the dice. Another buddy of mine is manufacturing them here in America, hand poured, not being shipped from that other land. So go to Kickstarter.com and look for Dungeon Dice.
Dungeon Dice. Very cool.
I think I dated her once.
Downtown Burbank.
It's a beautiful voice. I want that man to narrate my fucking life.
Right?
Rico wakes up in the morning. Little did he know that at night he would be interviewing a famous person. He did not know who it was at first.
And he hadn't eaten all day.
No, I had not.
I don't know, man. We were backstage and I saw you I said, dinner time? And you said, well, it's 5 o'clock. And then your wife corrected you. It's actually 6 o'clock. I'm just saying.
Mr. Doug, what's the secret to a happy marriage?
Not being married.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
God.
That is
This man
the
is
secret,
wise
all
behind
right.
his years. My God. This man is wise.
Right. Leo, on that note.
I'm just gonna save myself and say happy wife, happy life. You know.
Right. Me too. Yep.
Oh, totally.
So,
I just
Leo,
gotta.
if you're in danger, blink. If she's right there staring at you, blink. Look at
Blink.
me. Look at me.
Blink if
Just
you're in
blink. If you're-
danger.
he's like trying so hard.
I'm in technical support.
Yes.
Doug, I thank you so much for joining us this evening. Billy says
It's
amen.
fun for me. Usually I'm stuck with him. So
I'll leave you with two last questions. And actually, before we do that, I want to remind everybody, definitely check the show notes up above or down below, depending on where you're watching or listening to us. And for me, just Google Leo Pond. You find a bunch of stuff. Could be true, could be not. I'm not going to say which is which. But more importantly, follow all these awesome people, including Doug. I have all his information in the show notes, including your Facebook, if people want to do commissions or have you do commissions. But where do you like?
waiting for it? I still have something to do first.
Oh, totally. Yeah, so definitely be, so my question is there a character that you have not worked on that you would still like to, or a character that you passed up on that you look back you really wanted to work on?
Well, a character I was inspired to get into comic books because was Spider-Man.
Oh, nice.
The original Ditko Spider-Man was something that reached me in many ways, and I always had it in my mind that I would like to do at least one issue of Spider-Man. And the closest I got to it was a cover for an issue of Wekta with the humorist.
Oh yeah, yeah.
With Spider-Ham.
Oh, nice.
There was the Spider-Ham of the future. There's Spider-Ham 1588, marked down from $21.99. That was my gag on the cover.
Oh, nice.
So that's as close as I got to Spider-Man.
Yeah, and Spider-Ham made a big comeback with a new movie.
Yes, I'm very pleased about that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome. And where do you like people interacting with you on social media?
I'm comfortable with emails. That way I get to write complete sentences. But I'm also available on Facebook.
Sounds good. And Rico, where do you like people interacting with you?
Man, anywhere. But you can find me on Facebook under Richard Aviles. You can follow my podcast page, Rico Podcast, and on TikTok, Richard Aviles 52. I like talking to people. I had a fan message me the other day, talked for like an hour, so I'm always available, man.
Nice. RW.
Well, if you go down there, hey, over there it is. All the links to everything that is me is at the very bottom of that page. So you can follow me, like I say, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Tenor, Cameo, wherever. It's all down there. And I just want to thank you both for serving. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Well said. Well said. Benjamin.
Leo. Stilltoking.com. We're on every social media platform, but if you go to stilltoking.com, you'll find everything you want to know about us. We want to thank the amazing Doug Rice for joining us tonight. I'm still dorking out over STARBLAZERS. But to all our veterans and first responders, we want to thank you for doing what you do every day so people like us can do what we do every day. We're out of here. Be safe. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Doug, hold on. Don't leave until after he closes out the show. I want to talk to you real quick backstage.
No problem.
Please.